Welcome everyone to the Meet and Marry relationship show. Meet and Marry talk show.
Yes.
Welcome everybody to the Meet and Marry talk show with Joy and
Kevin
Adams. We're Joy and Kevin Adams. Today we're going to be talking to you, or why don't I do the intro and then you come in and say what we're going to be talking about. Okay? Welcome everybody to the Meet and Marry talk show. I'm Joy.
I'm Kevin
Adams, and or maybe we shouldn't give our last names. Last name? No. Just first name. Okay. Welcome everybody to the Meet and Marry talk show with Joy and Kevin. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Welcome everybody to the Meet and Marry talk show with Joy and
Kevin, and we will be talking about relationships. We will be going through the process of showing you good ladies out here how to meet the right man and how to marry him. That's how we met in a process, and Joy will give you a brief description of how and steps to follow. Me and Joy.
well, this is not an instructional tape. It's more conversational.
Oh, okay.
So what we want to do is have topics. So I saw that you had wrote down a couple topics or something.
It's a
No?
question.
Oh, okay. Well, what do you want our test topics to be about?
Test topics will be about, first of all, ladies, what kind of man are you looking for, and then what age group?
Well, what kind of man are you looking for? See, it's weird for me. I don't know if should I act like I'm talking to somebody who's sitting here?
Oh no, it'll be feedback. It'll be like you're gonna be talking to an audience of women and telling them the right kind of men to look for.
But should I be talking to the camera as though
Yes.
I'm talking to an audience of people?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that camera's up too high. I wonder if it should be more like eye level where we are.
Can the camera see this here?
Not where it is now. But I'm wondering if we should lower the
And then
camera.
we'll bring this down here.
Right.
Yeah, and we should.
Okay. We'll see in a minute. Okay, so basically ladies, the reason we put this show together is because obviously we're married, and there are a lot of people out there who aren't married, who are looking to be married. So how to meet and marry is how the show came about. There are, you hear the statistics, they're staggering, they're horrible. They say 75% of women are single or not married. 1/3 or 3/4 of black homes are led by a single parent. Black families are led by a single woman. And so we know, black women have the leading cases of HIV and AIDS. And so there's so many different things that are impacting our community through the black woman that and a lot of it is connected to relationships. So we felt that we would bring you this show and try to help with some of those things.
That's right. And ladies, what we'll be doing is trying to help you develop healthy relationships that will guide you towards marriage.
That's right, exactly.
And for you to be able to recognize the signs so you don't waste a lot of time with unhealthy relationships that are dead end.
Right. And what we mean by healthy relationship is not one where, you know, you love the guy and he's knocking you upside the head, or he's cheating on you and you're just accepting it. That's not what we are. That's not what we consider a healthy relationship. We're talking about more where you feel loved, you feel appreciated, and both of you guys do. You know, the feelings should be mutual between you, and stuff like that. So those are the types of things that we're going to be talking with you about. We want this show to be interactive, so we want you guys to call in, chime in as I'm talking.
We want you to email, we want you to put your input in, because of course, all your past experiences and your future, and in your present experiences as well, we need to know about them so we can help you adjust and identify as well to see if it's a healthy relationship you were in the past, and if you're on the right track with your present relationship, or are you considering a new relationship?
You know, you got ladies out there that are in relationships that are unhappy, or you're in a relationship and you're not quite sure. You know, maybe you saw a red flag or something and you just want some answers. You know, this dude did something that seems kind of suspect, or he said something or something like that you know, you kind of want somebody else's opinion about, or maybe you want to talk about it anonymously without, you know, letting people know who you are. That's cool too. So definitely call us, you know, write in, email us, go on our website, howtomeetandmarry.com, and let us know what you think. Also, go on the site, tell us what you think about the show, okay? Let us know if you like our set, man and woman. Also, let us know about topics, you know, make suggestions, make comments, or whatever.
Exactly. And ladies, we'll be here. We know how the scene is out in the ATL. We know the ATL, a lot of guys pretend to be something they're not, and we'll help you see the signs of if he's real, if he's fake, if he's different ways you can check up on him, look up on him, you know, find out if he's married and he's just not wearing the wedding ring today, but he's married.
They do that.
And trying to see if he's got baby mama drama, and we can help you, assist you, and show you the signs. And we also show you how to just have fun dating and not make it so serious and so intense.
Yeah.
And, you know, just enjoy yourself dating, and, you know, without the pressure of being physical, you know.
Yeah, because like what I want to know is why a lot of women feel so much pressure to be in a relationship. It's almost like they can't just be alone. They can't just be single and be all right just being single. It is healthy to be single. You know, it's healthy to be able to be happy just being single. Because if you can be healthy and happy and have a peace of mind and sense of self as a single person, then when you get together, you're a whole person. You want to get together with another whole person and make a great whole. But, you know, if you're broken and unhappy as a single person and you take that broken unhappiness into a relationship, well, it starts off broken. So, we want to talk to you ladies about how to be happy, just being single, not having so much not feeling so much desperate pressure to be in a relationship. Okay, so it's a bunch of things that we're going to be talking to you guys about. So have fun with us. You know, we hope that you'll tune in. Check us out on Comcast channel 25 in most areas. If you can't watch the show, then definitely check with your local cable provider and ask for the show. They should be able to help you find it in your area. Otherwise, you can just go right to howtomeetandmarry.com and watch the show online. Of course, we're uploaded at YouTube, so we're definitely out there. We're out on the web. We're coming at you, and we definitely want to be able to make a difference in you guys' lives.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
And you know, ladies, I think that the show offers something really special, because there are a lot of individuals out there who are giving advice, but we're an actual couple. So I think it's a little different coming from a real live married couple and, you know, giving marriage advice, right? Because so many people out there giving marriage advice who are not even married.
Exactly.
Right? And so many people out there giving relationship advice and they're not even in a healthy relationship.
Exactly. And most of those people, they can't give you accurate day in, day out relationship advice because they don't live it.
Right.
And a relationship, a healthy one, is based on living a loving, supporting, constantly making decisions together, whether it be financial or future planning. And in this day of recession, all you ladies need to be in a relationship where the guy supports the woman as well as the woman supports the guy. It's got to be a two-way street, ladies. If it's not a two-way street, it's not healthy, and it's not, you don't have a future. So,
well, let me ask you this, Kevin. When you say a woman supports a man and a man supports a woman, it could sound like you mean that both people have to be putting in money 50-50. So what exactly do you mean? And could you clarify for our audience what you mean by that?
when I say a supporting relationship, I mean if the male is employed and the wife is a homemaker, but yet she's not a wife yet. So if she, say you come to a man and you meet a man, ladies, and you're unemployed and he's employed, that shouldn't turn the man off from wanting to pursue the relationship. Because first of all, as men, we're supposed to be the king of the castle, and we're supposed to provide for our women. So he's got to have a natural supporting backing in him naturally. It's got to be a natural thing.
Well, let me ask you this then, Kevin. What about if a woman is working and she meets a guy who's not working? Should she be equally open to that?
She should, if he's got something going on that really makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, she shouldn't even pursue it. Plus, like I said, once again, we are naturally the head of the household. We are naturally the supporters. So we are naturally the ones who should want to go out and support your goals and your ambitions and be willing to work and back you, even if it's just by working and paying the bills while you pursue your dreams and your goals, because when you're successful, he's successful as well.
Now, I think there may be like a fine line, and I'm sure a lot of you ladies will agree with that situation, because if you meet a guy and he's unemployed, well, how do you know that he's really serious about finding employment? How do you know if this is not a game that he's running, and is he trying to live off you and stuff like that? You know, I guess maybe you can tell if he start asking you for money, or if he's been unemployed for a long time. That's a good sign that maybe things are not going to happen so quickly if he's been out of work for a long time.
Well, plus you have to, in this day and time, 2009, a good woman who's looking for a healthy relationship that'll lead towards marriage, she should be willing to accept a guy, whether he's a janitor, a maintenance man, a painter, a custodian at a school, or anything on a lower end. She should be willing to accept him and support him in what he's doing, because that's the kind of guy who's at least working, employed, and you can build and work with him from there. Now, a guy in this day and time that's unemployed, the whole situation is, of course, you want to know how long he's been unemployed, how long he's been pursuing other job opportunities. Does the guy have too much pride?
So you got to ask questions. You got to ask good questions. But what you'll find too on this show is that we're not clones of each other. You know, we have differing opinions. We don't always agree 100% of the time because it's not realistic. You know, you have two different sets of opinions and stuff like that. You'll also find that we're going to keep it real. We're not going to be on here pretending like marriage is a walk in the park every single day, grass is always green, and never rains. That's not realistic either. It doesn't happen in life. And you know what? It doesn't happen in marriage either. So we're going to keep it real with you. You know, me and Kevin, you know, sometimes, ladies, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm sure guys, from the guy's perspective, you know, Kevin probably feels that way too. But as far as what Kevin was just saying, I feel like a lot rides on compatibility in a relationship. Your long-term success and happiness depends very much on getting a good compatibility, you know, being in a relationship with someone you're compatible with. So just because somebody loves you doesn't mean you have to be in a relationship with that person. You have to decide whether you love that person and whether the feeling is mutual, right?
That's right.
I mean, you guys have to have things in common. You know, sure, maybe he is a janitor, maybe that is his profession, but is there enough outside of, you know, and we're saying janitor, you know, you might be a secretary. Well, if you're a secretary and he's a janitor, that probably makes more sense for a match. But if you're the vice president of, you know, IBM and he's a janitor, well, you guys are probably on two different levels of, you know, two different intellectual levels and perhaps two different educational levels. Maybe too far apart for you guys to be able to communicate effectively. Who knows? But, and maybe not. So, but these are not things that you should ignore simply because, you know, he makes you laugh. You really have to delve further beyond the surface when you're considering a life mate. But what we're doing, we're focusing the show really toward people who are single or maybe dating in a relationship but not married. And so the advice that we're trying to share with you is how to meet and marry, you know, a good mate. For women, we're trying to show you how to meet a good man, meet and marry a good man. And for men, how to meet and marry a good woman. But compatibility is very important.
Very much so. You should be very inquisitive, but also protective. So even when you go on a date, you go into public places, and you don't have him pick you up at your place. You don't meet him at his place. You guys meet in a neutral place that has other people there that are customers, such as like a movie theater, a comedy show, a restaurant. I wouldn't recommend a nightclub because a nightclub, there's too many people there. How you guys gonna get to know each other in a nightclub?
That's true.
So you're gonna have a brief conversation, you know, not like in nightclubs, you know, we've had a lot of fun, you know, me and my wife once met in a nightclub. But you can't really get to know each other in a nightclub on a date.
Right.
So you have to go to a place
where you can talk.
Where you can talk, you can communicate.
Yeah, you can look at each other.
Look at each other, you can see each other's body language, and
yeah.
you can also get a better one-on-one sense.
Right.
And you got to do that on a regular basis.
And do it early on. Don't go on blurry dates in the beginning, and then you fall in love with who you think the person is, and then, you know, you go on the clear date later on, and then you realize who you thought you were with is not who you're actually with. So for your dates, I recommend, ladies, go on a date in the daytime. It's better to date in the daytime because you're not thinking, you're more prone, you and him are more prone to be thinking about sex at night. So it's better to go in the daytime when things can feel more platonic, where other people, you know, he's not thinking about taking you to his house and getting you in bed because it's so late and now suddenly it's bedtime, or it's too late to drive you back home, or if he's at your house, it's suddenly too late for him to leave. So don't put yourself in those kind of situations. Go out somewhere, like Kevin said, public place where other people are, but like a restaurant. But for your very first date, I recommend keeping it short. Go out, daytime, meet this guy in a forum where you can get a good look at his face, at his body, his nails, his shoes. You can see the way he interacts with other people. You can talk with him clearly about who he is. And, you know, and if he's interested in you, he's going to ask questions about who you are. And so from your first date, keep it short though. You know, don't extend the first date. Keep the first date short so that you have your impression and you go home and you think about who you met. What do you think about that?
That sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds great.
Like coffee.
And it sounds like you will have a successful date.
Yeah.
If you do it that way.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's brief. It's brief, but it's direct.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can go back and reflect.
Yeah, reflect.
So you can always go back, reflect, and you can run it by friends, family,
right,
anybody close to you, and you can see what they think. You
yeah.
know, it's okay to bounce off different things on people.
Yeah, and two, you don't want to put the guy under a lot of pressure to spend a lot of money on that first date either, before he's decided whether he likes you or not.
Exactly. Don't let the date be material.
Don't let the date be material. You know, don't have in mind, I'm going to order lobster and, you know, or I want him to buy me some jewelry or take me shopping on the first date. You don't want to put him under that kind of pressure. You want to give him an opportunity to find out whether he likes you or not too. And you want to give him an opportunity to get off the hook if he doesn't like you. And you also don't want to, you know, you certainly don't want to give any gold digger impressions.
Exactly.
Or anything like that. So
plus that could backfire on you, because if you ask for Red Lobster, diamonds, a dress, or anything of material substance,
mm-hmm.
then he's going to come back and want sex.
Sex.
So now you put yourself in a position where
right.
now you have to provide
You're doing favors
for him,
right?
Because he bought you.
That's right.
This material.
That's
item,
right.
Or he went above.
That's right.
And beyond.
That's right. So women, don't put him in the position of having to go above and beyond if you're not prepared to go above and beyond. Now, we are certainly not suggesting that because somebody buys you lobster that you have to have sex with them. That is not what we are saying.
Not at all.
No.
But you keep it to a minimum. You
yes.
keep it smart.
Yeah.
Because when you're getting together for your first date, second, third, fourth, fifth, it's about you getting to know each other.
Right.
It's not about how much food you can consume. It's not about how much alcohol you can drink.
It's not about how much money you can get him to spend.
Right. So you just want to keep it very limited.
Right.
So you can communicate and get to know each other. You
right.
want to take a lot away from the date. Like Joy said, I would say as a man, the questions we would ask you would be like, what do you do for a living? Where did you go to school at? Or did you attend any formal education? You know, what's your future goals? You know, I know you ladies ask that 5-year goal, where you're going to be in 5 years. We want to know where you're going to be next year as a man. So we want to know, what's your plans? Are you planning on living in Atlanta? Because we're meeting you in Atlanta. So we want to know, do you plan on living there, you know? And then you ask a few questions, you know, how many brothers and sisters you got? Do any of them reside in Atlanta? And where are you originally from? You know, those type of
general type questions. But what you don't want to do, ladies, is pull out your checklist. And you don't want to pull out a scroll and, you know, and start, okay, I got 100 questions for you. Now, you know, he doesn't want to feel like he's on an interview. The conversation should be just very natural.
Exactly.
It should just flow. He should ask a few questions. You should ask a few questions. All the questions should just be relative to getting to know a new person. No pressure. Now, with all that said, he should pay for whatever you get. Women, if you have to go in your purse to pay for your own coffee on a first date or your own Danish,
Exactly.
then that's probably not the direction you'd want to go. Because if he doesn't offer to pay for your coffee and your Danish or your donut, he's not planning to pay for anything.
Exactly.
Right?
Actually, in reverse, he's actually going to ask you for something in the next date, the next 2 days,
Right.
or the next 3 or 4 days.
Right. Now, if you know, we got a lot of independent women out there, and nothing's wrong with that. But if you're the independent type and your fingers just itch and you burn, you know, because you want to pay for your own stuff and you want to let him know you can take care of yourself, ladies, relax. It's not that deep. It's not about that. Again, that's why you go on a date. Your first date is a date that is not expensive. And let me tell you, ladies, for the ones that think that you're going to go to a movies on the first date, we went to the movies on our first date, actually. But as a rule, or as advice, and the date that we went on was a great date. I mean, look at us. We ended up married. So we're not saying absolutely not, no way whatsoever. But if I'm giving advice, I'm going to advise you to not go to a movies on a date, because it's dark, because you don't get to talk, because the focus is on the movie. It's not on getting to know each other. You can't have a conversation in a movie. So now what ended up happening between Kevin and myself is that our date, he offered to extend the date, and then we went on a drive. Again, something I wouldn't recommend, because you gotta know that you can trust the person. But listen, ladies, the advice that I'm giving you today is based on years of experience. Okay, so just like you tell your kids, you know, what to look out for and stuff like that, you're able to guide your children because you have life experience.
Or your best friend,
and
or your sister,
whoever,
or
you
your
build
aunt.
wisdom.
Yes.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, do trial and error.
Through trial and error.
But being most people here in Atlanta are from different places as well, or not familiar with the whole entire city or state, I would say just stick to the basics.
Yeah, basics.
And make sure you're in a public place.
Public place.
And like Joy said, do not extend the date past. Make sure it's in the daytime. Do not extend past. Of course, we're in daylight savings, but you know, try to end the date 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Give yourself an hour to get home even before it gets dark.
Yeah.
And you know, keep it brief. You know, maybe sit and talk an hour, hour and a half, and then you know, go back and be able to reflect and give him something to think about as well. And just communicate, and don't be so aggressive after the date where you're eager to call him and think you're going to get on the phone and sit and talk on the phone all night, because no, that's the wrong answer.
That's the wrong answer.
Because what's going to happen is you're going to talk to him late, and he's going to try to bait you into getting you
coming
to
over.
either coming over. He's either going to want to come over to your place, or you're going to want to come over to his. So
right.
That late conversation on the phone stuff is going nowhere. So.
Late night, long drawn out late night conversations typically end in sex, talking about sex. And that's not what you want to be discussing when you're just getting to know somebody. Exactly. You don't want him under your clothes and in your pants. You know, granted, ladies, if you're looking for marriage, if you're trying to meet a man who you intend to, or you're out there and you're trying to find you're trying to meet and marry a good man, you want to do this differently than if you're just chilling, meeting somebody casually.
Exactly.
Okay, it's work. It really is work.
Exactly, and what you have to do when you're in that process, patience, ladies, is the virtue. You got to be real patient to get your mate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now
I had to reach out to Joy several months before I got a date. So that shows you that patience works, because if the guy can't get date after date after date when he wants it, he will appreciate and value you more, because you're entirely different from the aggressive, hungry, and desperate woman. So make sure you are patient and let him do the calling, ladies. There's nothing wrong with that. Let him do the calling. We're the hunter. You're the huntee. So keep that in mind. If a guy ain't hunting you down, you ain't got nothing, and he ain't nothing. So just keep that in mind and be patient. Patient is the virtue. You can pray, read your Bible.
Right.
If you think he's the right one, then God will uncover him in a negative or positive way.
Right.
And then you'll move forward. But he will do everything accordingly. When he calls you and it's after 9 o'clock, do not answer your phone, and never answer your phone with his call after 9 o'clock.
Right.
Therefore, he will figure it out, unless he's a knucklehead or a thug. He will figure out this woman don't talk on the phone after 9 o'clock.
I might even say 8 o'clock. You know why? Because if he calls at 9, then it's already late. So if you're on the phone with him 20 minutes or something like that, 30 minutes, some women might stay on the phone with him for an hour, then you're already in that booty bedroom time. You know what I mean? So I might say 8 o'clock, because even if you end up, you shouldn't stay on the phone with him for an hour anyway when you're just getting to know each other. But if it happens, it's better for when you get off the phone, it's still a decent time of day, you know what I mean? Rather than being, tipping toward that midnight hour when people really want to get to start talking about sex with a new person.
And ladies, don't get caught up in being in Atlanta and you see 20 to 1 and all these numbers, because it don't mean nothing, because all you're looking for is one good man. One. That's it. It's only one of you. So you're only looking for one good man. So the numbers don't mean anything.
Right.
So just keep that in mind, ladies.
Now, I know some of you are saying, well, all this patient stuff and not calling and waiting for him to hunt you and waiting for him to pay and all of this stuff. It sounds good, but it's very hard to do. Well, let me give you a little bit of relief, because, ladies, I don't think I've ever talked with Kevin about it, but I believe in the maintenance man. When you first date somebody, you have to be able to have your focus on somebody else. So use your little black book. Go on other dates. Don't just be dating this one person when you just met them, because you're putting all your eggs in one basket. You don't even know if the new guy is going to work out. You don't even know if this dude even likes you. You don't even know if you like him. You don't know if anything is going to develop out of it. So, go on multiple dates. Don't just date one person if you're just dating. Now, if you're crossing over into being intimate and you're actually developing a relationship, well, you have to have an understanding with that person or these people, whether the relationship that you have with them is exclusive, and whether it's a committed relationship. What kind of relationship is it that you have? You want to be able to put some parameters around it. And if a guy is not willing to discuss that with you, then buyer beware, because he's not serious. So date more than one person at a time. That doesn't mean sleep around.
Exactly.
Yeah, it just means, have other people that are calling you, have more than one person pursuing you at a time, so that you don't have a feeling of desperation when you actually do come across the guy that does like you. You can take your time, and he can take his time or go at his own pace, and let the relationship progress naturally and normally, rather than feeling desperation because you're lonely and you're going to call this new guy and you text him and you're looking for his emails and all of this different stuff. So just take your time. But maintenance man is always good to have around. It keeps your mind focused on some other things. Have some hobbies. Go out with your girlfriends. Get involved in the church. Do some things that'll keep, again, Be busy. Don't just go home, leave from work every night and go home, and then be sitting there waiting for his call all night long.
Exactly.
Do some other stuff. Go work out, go to church, go hang out with your girlfriends, get involved in some activities or something like that. Okay?
Exactly.
Men do it all the time, ladies. When men meet you for the first time, 9 times out of 10, he is talking with other women. Whether he has a girlfriend, sometimes, Lord God, they're married, God forbid. But they're dating they're dating more than just you when you first meet.
Plus, lady, it's an elimination process.
It's an elimination process.
So it's an elimination process for you and for him.
That's right.
So be conscious of it. There's nothing wrong with you dating other people because
Right.
there's no commitment there.
That's right.
For yourself or for him.
That's
so
right.
If he's dating somebody else and you're dating
Don't
somebody
trip.
else.
Don't trip.
Right.
Just don't have sex with him
Exactly.
before you decide whether you're in a committed relationship or not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Put some parameters around what you're doing. If you're just dating, which dating means that you are going out and doing some activity with this person.
With the opposite sex.
With the
That's
opposite.
What it is.
Well,
That's the definition of dating. You go out and you do something social
right.
with the opposite
Something
sex.
social. There you go.
And after that social time and that social
The date
experience
is over.
then that's the end of the date.
Right.
And then you go back to your home, he goes back to his home.
And there's
And that's
nothing
it.
wrong
No strings
with
attached.
going out and doing something social with more than one person at a time if you have not come to an agreement of exclusivity with anyone, if you're not in a committed relationship. Now, of course, once you come to the point in your relationship with whomever you're dating that it is going to be committed and exclusive, then you shouldn't be continuing relationships with other people.
That's
because
That's wrong, that's leading people on,
Yeah.
and that could be trouble later down the line.
Now, this is typically what the man, is doing. He'll tell a woman he's exclusive, but he's still seeing his other people. Ladies, let me give you a little bit of information here. When you meet a new guy, give him time to wean off the women he has in his life when you meet him. Okay? Because, like I said, 9 times out of 10, most single men have some women in their lives that they're involved with. Whether they're just talking over the phone, having sex, chatting on the internet, sending emails back and forth, whatever the case may be. So do know this in the beginning. So if you find out who this woman is or should come across her when you just meet a guy, don't trip.
Exactly.
Right? The time you're supposed to trip is when you both have agreed that your relationship is committed and exclusive. Now, ladies, in terms of protecting yourself, don't have sex with him until there's a commitment.
Exactly. Do not have sex.
And don't let guys...
There's no excuse, there's no reason for you to have sex.
to rush into sex.
And ladies, for you ladies who are single moms, do not bring your kids on your date
Oh, gosh.
around any of these men.
Yes.
Okay? You and the guys, dating is social for 2 adults. So keep that in mind. It's social for 2 adults. It has nothing to do with a child. The child's life is innocent. So let's keep the child's life innocent by keeping the child out of your dates and out of your social relationship.
Yeah, you shouldn't be bringing a man you just met to you shouldn't have him meeting your children. You shouldn't have your children around them. You just shouldn't even know that you're dating, until you're in a committed relationship. And so real fine line, ladies. Just be careful with your kids. A lot of things going on with women that expose their children to men they barely know. Just protect your kids like you're protecting yourself.
And just for future reference, so you'll know, ladies, about a little about men and the places they like to go on dates when they think highly of you. You know, we like to take you to a ball game. We like to take you to a concert because that means we like to show you off and let other people see you at basketball games, football games, stuff we have interest in, but also things where we like to let other people who know us see who we are dating. So guys like going to certain things like that. And also, it's nothing wrong with you suggesting places you enjoy when he asks you, where would you like to go? So it's good to have you a short list, which is an inexpensive list of places you like to go.
Right.
And things you like to do. Because like I said, dating is a social relationship between two adults for the day, afternoon, evening, not night. Dating is not a nighttime thing.
Now, ladies, we're not saying that you have to tell him that your top 3 places are Sizzler, McDonald's, and Taco Bell. What we're saying is, don't say that your top 3 places are Red Lobster, Justin's, and where?
Red Lobster, Justin's, and Atlanta
Don't
Fish
tell
Market.
right, Atlanta Fish Market, exactly.
Don't make him think, because then he goes back and he starts adding up in his pocket.
Right.
We go to Atlanta Fish Market. That's like $125.
That's right.
And then when I tip them $20.
That's right. Yeah, right.
I'm out of $140.
Don't give him the
145.
impression that it's all about money, because it's not. If what you're looking for is to ensure that you're getting into a relationship with a man who can provide financial stability and security for you, there are other ways of doing that, okay?
Hey, y'all can go out and expect to date. Y'all can go on a date where you go somewhere and shoot pool, you play skee ball, you go bowling, you do roller skating. There's so many different ways you can go on a date, you know? You can even go to, you know, places like the comedy club. You know, you can go to places like that, have a laugh together, and then you get in your car, he get in his car, you go separate ways back home, you know?
But you know what, ladies? It's not all about saving him money either, because he has to show you that he's willing to splurge on you. It just shouldn't be your idea, okay?
Right. Or your choice. He has to make
right. He
choice.
should make the choice. He should be the one who says, I like Atlanta Fish Market. You feel like fish? And then you can say, well, yeah, I love that place, okay? So again, like Kevin said, you should have a few places, just in case he asks, of places that you really enjoy. But it's really more about letting him set the pace. So you can say, you know, these are my favorite places, but I'd rather go someplace that you like, okay? So when he says the places that he likes, then you can pick somewhere that he likes, as long as it's within that safe parameter where it's not, you know, he's not telling you he likes to drive up to the mountain and look over the cliff, you know, that type of thing. As long as it's within, you know, a reasonable parameter, you want to go where he feels comfortable, so he can kind of be king for the day, okay?
Exactly.
But it's all about that balance and variety.
And also safety.
Safety.
So ladies, I would suggest also, when you meet people, do not meet a guy and then he tells you to meet him. I've been running into a lot of ladies out here in Atlanta who meet guys at gas stations. They don't have no address, no nothing. All they got is a cell phone number, but they're meeting him about 40 miles away from home, but they're meeting him at a gas station with no known address. They don't know where he lives, what he does for a living.
And when he drives up, I mean, how do you even know who he is? How do you even know if he pulls into the gas station? I would never meet somebody in a gas station. I'm not criticizing you if you did, but what I'm saying is next time you might not want to do it that way.
Exactly. And ladies, you just got to be real mindful of that. And, you know, like I said, that's a no-no. You shouldn't be dating a guy that you're meeting him at his place of residence anyway. You should be dating in a lit up, neutral place where you go your way, he goes his way.
Like a museum. You know, meet at the High Museum in the cafeteria. Or, you know, now, ladies, I know we just finished saying to let him choose the place, but now he might say, I like to have a drink at the Titty Bar, or you know, I hang out at Cream Nightclub or something like that. Those are places I like. Well, you can nudge him in the right direction. Don't get an attitude. Don't snap.
Exactly.
Don't feel insulted because it's not about that. He's telling you what he likes, or he's telling you what he wants from you. But you don't have to feel insulted if what he's telling you he wants from you is not what you're willing to give. All you have to do is show him what you are willing to give, and you can simply do that by saying, by making a counter offer. So if he's offering the local titty bar, you might say, well, do you have any, I don't think the titty bar is open, you know, you're not calling it a titty bar, but whatever the name of the place is, you might respond by saying, I don't think that, Clubbers is open in the daytime on Sunday. Do you have any place that you like to go on Sunday? Do you drink coffee? Do you like Starbucks or anything like that?
Right.
So
you ever attend Barnes and Noble? You ever
you like reading? So basically, if what he's offering is not meeting your standard, then you can counter offer by finding out something else that he likes to lead you guys in the direction and destination of where you really need to be. Okay?
Exactly.
A bookstore or a coffee shop or something like that. Again, for the first date. Just because there's no pressure whatsoever, it's not expensive, you're not going to feel pressured to give him sex, he's not going to feel like he deserves sex because he bought you a cup of coffee. You shouldn't buy him the coffee, he should pay for the coffee or whatever else, and you shouldn't tell him to pay. He should offer. Now, if he doesn't offer, and say he pays for his own coffee and then steps aside for you to pay for yours, well, you don't trip, you don't give him ugly eye contact, you don't argue, you don't anything. You remain composed, you remain a lady, you take a mental note,
Exactly.
you pay for your coffee, you stick around for about 5, 10, 15 minutes, and you're out. It's been very nice to meet you. So glad we had a chance to get together. I'll see you around. And that should be it. You go your separate ways. Now, if this man stepped aside and didn't offer to pay for your coffee, oh my God. Can I say run like hell?
Exactly.
Can I say run like hell? Like, that's not somebody you want to be involved with whatsoever.
Exactly.
So,
and be careful, ladies, also for the online dating, because people got profiles up that are 15,
Fake.
20 years old, or there's somebody else.
Somebody else entirely.
So be careful with the online dating and that type of thing.
And just because you put your picture up there, your current picture of who you actually look like or your actual information, doesn't mean that the person you're talking to did.
Exactly. And what you want to do is you want to continue when you get people who are putting profiles up online and stuff like that. You have to meet that person out. Don't look at it as a get them out in a social setting, and then what you want to do is maybe bring some friends, a group of friends with you, and then you can see if that person's who they say they are, and your friends can be like in the area of which you're having your social date with them. So then you got like them as like a backup.
You like the posse idea? Yeah.
And that can work because they'll be at another table. So you and him will go have a date with inside of the date with you and your girlfriends are out. So it might be a little girls' night out thing, but they understand that you're going to go spend a little time with your date online date for a little while.
Ladies, let me say a little bit about, thanks Kevin, that's some real good information. Um, Ladies, dating online, it's a way to meet somebody new. First of all, to me, it's entertainment. It's entertainment. I mean, you have to take it as entertainment. You can't take online dating very seriously because there are so many jokers out there doing online dating on chat lines, on phone lines and stuff like that. So many people who are so not serious or who are so dangerous. So you just got to be careful when you're involved in these social activities that are not face to face. And then also, a couple things about online dating. Don't meet somebody online and talk to them for weeks and months and fall in love with this person based on how they write, okay?
Or how they talk.
Or fall in love with somebody based on how they sound over the phone. Don't do that to yourselves. Women, we fall in love, okay? So it's very easy for us. I mean, look at Chris and Rihanna. She loved this guy so much he could beat her up, pummel her, and give her a huge hickey black eye and busted mouth and everything, bang her head into the window, and she still wanted to be with this guy. So ladies, love is a dangerous thing for us. It could be a wonderful thing, but it could also be a dangerous thing, because that emotion of love can keep you locked in and make you want to be in a situation that's very bad for you. So don't give away your love before you evaluate whether the person is worthy of it. And you give away your love if you stay chatting with somebody on the internet without meeting them and making them earn your love, okay? And then also same thing on the phone. Don't spend weeks and months talking to a guy for hours on end, and because if you're talking to a guy a lot on the telephone, eventually you're gonna run out of conversation. And it's going to be about phone sex. Don't let your relationship become about phone sex before he has shown you that he's worthy of your love, worthy of your time, worthy of your commitment and your thoughts. So let him demonstrate that to you. Now, I'm not saying you can't meet people on the internet. Your first connection can be over the internet. Nothing wrong with that, or over the telephone. But you don't want that to be prolonged. You might, the point in going online is to make the connection. Once you've made the connection, you need to come off the computer, come off the phone, and deal with each other face to face, right?
Exactly.
Now, if you meet somebody long distance, well, that's a whole nother can of worms. But the same rules apply, that you shouldn't be falling in love with somebody long distance.
Oh yeah, if you're safety minded, you always have to be safety minded in all your relationships, in all your meetings or social meetings. You even gotta be safety minded. So don't put down your guards because you find a guy's conversation real attractive or real impressive, or you find his profile real.
Right.
Because women, we have a lot of males out here who practice real hard on deception.
Yes.
The real deceptive, yes, they'll be out here in $800 suits with Stacy Adams shoes, and they will be wearing $5,000 Rolexes that they rented, and they rent Mercedes-Benz and everything, ladies. And you got to understand that these guys, they wear these costumes to draw you professional women who are well-to-do in these companies to them. And then they, by the way, after they meet you and they spend a little time with you, then they say, oh, by the way, honey, I need $1,500. You think you can loan me $1,500. And those conversations come very quickly once they notice
Right.
you're all into them and
Right.
all wrapped up into them, and you put
Again.
your guards down.
Don't give away your love until you determine whether the guy is worthy. But don't be so materialistic that you're falling in love because his profile said that he's an attorney or he's a doctor and you're believing it, and you talk to him on the phone and it sounds legitimate, and then you get together and he has a pager like he's really a doctor and that type of thing. So you just got to make sure that who you're talking about is who you're really talking about. If he's a doctor or a lawyer, you should be able to input his information on the internet and find him quickly. My girlfriend is an attorney. I was easily able to enter her information, Google her, and find her attorney credentials. My aunt is a doctor. I was easily able to enter her credentials in Google and find her license information, her license number, where she practices. All that different information is available when somebody is a licensed professional. So that takes us into a whole nother conversation about making sure that you're dating who you think you're dating. But our show is done for today.
Done for the day.
We had a great episode. Enjoyed
Yes, we did.
speaking to you. Hope you'll tune in next time. Make sure to send your questions and your comments to us at adams@howtomeetandmarry.com. Visit the website at howtomeetandmarry.com. Don't miss our upcoming seminars in Atlanta. And also, be safe.
Be safe and be blessed, and be careful with your dating and your choices in dating, and make sure your dates are always done in the daytime in public places where your safety is always valuable, and everybody and other people in that circle know that you are in their presence, even if you've gone to a restaurant and arrived 30 minutes early before your date. At least the people at the restaurant know that you're on a date, you're waiting for somebody to come, you have that person's name, so you have information in case something happens.
There we go, ladies. Have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
I think this blinking might be an indication
Oh, that's when it tells you it's
of
coming.
something. I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's coming to an end.
Oh, okay, that's good.